G'day everybody. Let's have a look at crypto today, April 17. We're on the weekly Bitcoin chart here, and we can see since 17th of January, Bitcoin has been in an upward trend. So there's 3 months of upward trend here. That's come after the November dump from the highs of $65,000. And at the moment, we're at $40,350. So a quick dip and a slow movement to the upside. If we zoom in a little bit, we can see this week, Bitcoin reached the $42,000 resistance level and moved away from it. Also, we've been rejected just here at the first of the EMA ribbons. So rejection at the ribbons and rejection at the $42,000 mark. But overall, still in an upward trend. Volumes have been fairly low. If we look here at the VMC chart on the weekly, we'll see the Stochastic Rsi is at 70, RSI at 44.8, and the volume to price indicator here in the yellow just above the zero level. Okay, so let's go and have a look at the daily. On the daily, we can see the same CMC chart here where the price to volume indicator is just over the zero mark. We have this underlying red wave here, which we would like to see move up into a green wave. That's if we're looking for Bitcoin to continue its run. Stochastic RSI on the rise, not too hot at the moment. We have RSI fairly steady at 38. We have a momentum wave moving to the upside, and we have a price to volume indicator moving above the zero. So looking slightly to the positive side, looking at this, the only thing that is disturbing on the daily is we can see the volumes moving down, 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 down. So Bitcoin moving up on lower and lower volumes. And if we go to the 4 hourly, here we see a similar story. Price to volume indicator moving upwards. Stochastic moving upwards. RSI fairly steady at 46. So low volumes again. Nothing spectacular happening here. So what we should do here is probably just keep an eye on the Bitcoin price. We could, from this position, move either way. So let's just keep an eye on it before we decide to place any new positions. Okay, so moving away from the charts, let's have a look at the bubbles, and we'll see Filecoin is the big mover today, up 13%. Rune is the biggest loser, down 6%, and ApeCoin down 5% as well. Okay, EOS up 8.6. GMT just seems to keep rising, up 4%, and MENA up today 3%. Glimmer token also one really to look out for, up 4%. Let's go over to the fear and greed, 28, we're in fear. Cryptocurrency liquidations, let's go over here. We can see that the longs have been $21 million worth of liquidations, and the shorts $32 million worth of liquidations. And when we move to the heat map, we see that we're pretty equal red and green on the heat map. Let's have a look at some of the news today. 1,200 million in Bitcoin moved out of Coinbase in a massive daily outflow, according to CryptoQuant. So not exactly the latest news, but interesting nonetheless. Bitcoin moving out of Coinbase exchange. And a quick explanation of what might be happening is here. According to King Young-ju, the Bitcoin stash in question was most likely purchased by institutional investors in over-the-counter deals. Okay, that's where the institutions come in and buy over-the-counter directly from the exchange. So you won't see those transactions show up in the Bitcoin price because that's a direct over-the-counter buy. That's the way they like to do it, the institutions, because if they were to buy a heap of Bitcoin, then while they're buying it, if they were to buy it on the open markets, that would push the price up and they'd end up paying more. So they negotiate a price over the counter and buy direct from exchanges. Next up, we'll have a look at former Ripple advisor nominated to serve as the vice chair of the US Federal Reserve. Okay, so who's this? Michael Barr. US President Joe Biden is nominating Michael Barr, a former Ripple advisor, to serve as vice chair for supervision of the Federal Reserve. Okay, so this looks like bullish news for Ripple XRP. When Barr was appointed as an advisor to Ripple, Barr said at the time, "I'm excited to be joining the advisory board of Ripple Labs. Our global payment system is badly outdated. I think innovation in payments can help make the financial system safer, reduce costs, and improve access and efficiency for consumers and businesses alike." Well, if he just got the job, you'd expect him to say something like that. Now, today, in 2022, this is exactly what's happening. XRP is helping a lot of banks around the world. They're linked with many, many, many banks worldwide, helping banks set up their new systems for the crypto space, helping other banks create their own stable coins, and getting involved with CBDCs, countries wanting to create their own central bank digital currencies. Once Ripple gets out of their problems with the SEC, then you could see the Ripple price really taking off. Uniswap. Uniswap faces class action lawsuits for listing unregistered securities. That's the claim, that Uniswap was listing for sale unregistered securities and that they're liable for any losses of people who bought those unregistered securities. That's if they are proven to be unregistered securities. So going along again along the Ripple line, the XRP line, now the lawyers are going after Uniswap. Now, when the lawyers can see a couple of dollars anywhere, they'll try and form a class action and get as many people as they can together to sue for as many millions of dollars as they can get in their own pockets. Now, generally what happens with a class action lawsuit is the claimants to the class action get a small percentage of what they're actually looking for, and the big winners are the lawyers. So the lawyers a lot of the time are out there drumming up, like used car salesmen, drumming up business to try and get people to create class action lawsuits against large organisations. So Uniswap, the latest victim, falling prey to lawyers. So what the lawyers need is one claimant which they can build upon and put out the news, which this is, putting out the news, a media release basically putting out the news saying, anybody who's lost money on Uniswap, if you feel hardly done by, join us and let's go and sue them and get some money. Generally what happens here is the claimants go through a lot of pain, takes a lot of time, they end up with a very small return, and the lawyers line their pockets. So you want to think carefully before you get into something like this. So there's 2 lawsuits filed against Uniswap at the moment, but the lawyers can file 100 lawsuits. Anyone can file a lawsuit on another person, and then it has to be defended in court. So the fact that there's 2 lawsuits against Uniswap at the moment is not really anything spectacular. Anyone with any institution or anybody that has any money these days There's a big target painted on their back, with lawyers keeping a big eye out for those targets and just coming in trying to pull some money. A lot of the time what will happen is the people with the money will just pay a settlement to the lawyers to get them off their back and make them go away, rather than going through the courts. And that's probably what's happening here. So the first lawsuit filed on April 4 by crypto investor Nessa Rixley, North Carolina, alleges that she has experienced substantial losses as a result of her $10,400 investment in low-cap digital assets such as Ethereum Max, Matrix, Samurai, Rocket Bunny. Okay, so she's gone for top quality coins here, and it's quite surprising that she's lost her money, especially investing in Rocket Bunny. So yeah, it's all Uniswap's fault that she put her money into Rocket Bunny, that's for sure. Yeah. So although they're yet to certify a class, the aim is to attract other people who invested and lost their money on Uniswap. Well, this is exactly what I said. The lawyers will find one bunny that invested in Rocket Bunny and is disgruntled because they lost their money, get them to file a suit and then back it up with a class action, trying to get as many other people to file in as they can. And like I said, the only one who makes money out of this is the lawyers. So the more I look at this media report here, the more I see that it's probably been put out by the lawyers to generate interest in a class action against Uniswap. And they would be looking for a settlement where they can take most of the money for their fees, and the people who have joined the class action will get cents in the dollar, go through a lot of stress and waste their time. So yeah, I wouldn't be particularly joining this class action. Anyway, that's for everyone to make up their own mind, and we'll just follow this closely. So if we have a look at the Uniswap price here, is unaffected by the news. It's just following Bitcoin. It's following the trend in the rest of the market. No big dumps, nothing spectacular going on here. Russia could be the next to legalize crypto for payments. According to the local Russian news source Kommersant, the Russian Ministry of Finance has completed a bill on regulating crypto payments and crypto mining in the country. Okay, a lot of interest in Russia at the moment with cryptocurrencies and especially Bitcoin, now that they've had all these sanctions put against them with the current war that's going on. They're now looking at alternative ways to get funds in and out of the country, and Bitcoin being a great way to achieve that. We wouldn't really want Russia to be too successful with this. It could be something that works negatively against Bitcoin and the crypto market. And lastly, we'll have a look at this report that says Germany is the most crypto-friendly nation in the world. So at the moment, Germany ranks 1, Singapore ranks 2, and the US ranks 3. Well, I don't know how the US is at 3, but anyway, they're at 3. Every report that ever gets done can be swayed by the interests of the people who create the report. So, okay, US at 3, and then interestingly, when we come down, we see that the other two within the top 5 are Australia and Switzerland. So I'd argue that Australia and Switzerland are doing a lot more to encourage cryptocurrencies than the US are at the moment. They're way ahead with their CBDCs, with their infrastructure and their plans, and their governments are behind cryptocurrency, where the US is still playing around deciding what to do. So, but according to this, Germany, Singapore, US, Australia, and Switzerland, top five countries friendly to crypto. Okay, so just quickly jump back to Bitcoin to finish off. And as we see, very low volumes the last few days. It's the Easter break, so obviously we're going to have low volumes. Everything just going sideways, fairly steady. nothing much really to report in the Bitcoin price at the moment. If you like the video, then please give us a thumbs up. And if you could subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell, you'll be notified every time we have a new video coming out. Okay, talk again soon. Bye for now.